Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the fat lady's getting ready to sing for President Joe Biden. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. You know, in order for a Democrat president to be elected, there's a certain coalition that has to go along with them. You have your union members, a majority of women, a vast majority of the youth vote, and a vast majority of minorities, particularly black, Hispanic, Asian, Jewish. They all tend to vote Democrat. It's been that way for decades. Of course, there are your stragglers and all of those that will vote Republican, but the vast majority of those voting blocks, and I hate voting blocks. I don't think any group of people should vote as a unit. I think everybody's vote should be competed for. But these voting blocks, they tend to vote as a unit, and I think it gives them a lot less power. And now Biden's losing them. He's starting to lose them. He's starting to bleed these particular voters, the voters he needs in this coalition, the Obama coalition, to become the president again. And while he's losing them, it's not that they're just going nowhere and sitting on their hands. Many of them are going to Trump because he's gaining them. Because I think at a certain point, people value truth. People remember what their lives were like under Trump, and they know what their lives are like under Biden. And even if they dislike Trump personally, I love him, but even if you dislike him personally, you look at reality and say, was my life better with Trump or with Biden? Of course, this doesn't apply to people who have high-profile jobs who are going to make a lot of money regardless who the president is, but it does affect us when we have to go out and buy groceries and buy things for our homes. We still feel that. We still see the prices. We still see that we're paying more for stuff. It's not lost on us that, hey, gosh, I don't know, this thing I bought 2 years ago or 3 years ago is now double the price. Even though it doesn't affect, people that have a little more money in the same way, they still notice it. So if they're noticing it, right, what is the regular American noticing? You think they're not noticing this? Well, Trump made their lives better. And now it looks like they want him to make their lives better again, because you got to watch this CNN report at an absolutely incredulous CNN analyst who can't believe his eyes. Let's take a look.
And John King is here with us now once again. It's funny because it's what we call you as DJ Furious as well.
All the time.
All the time.
I mix them.
Don't just stop while you're ahead. But back to the issue at hand. In what you've heard from the union workers in Michigan, if this trend continues beyond in Michigan and beyond, how significant would that be?
This has been one of the defining battles in the last two presidential elections, right? Donald Trump flips the blue wall. Hillary Clinton loses Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, in part because of blue-collar voters, many of them union voters, right? And so Joe Biden wins it back, gets all three of those states back. Why? His standing among blue-collar voters, including union voters, went up. He ran 9 points better among union households in Michigan in 2020 than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. So this is it. In those industrial states, this is one of the big tug-of-wars right there. One factor in 2016 that we didn't have in 2020 was the third-party candidates. So watch them this year. Biden is holding his own. Is it enough? That's it. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, they're one in the tiniest of margins.
Right.
And so 50% isn't good enough. He got 62% in Michigan union households in 2020. He has to be right around that number again.
Also in Michigan, it's becoming kind of an encapsulation of all of the issues that Joe Biden is facing right now.
Right. The one thing missing for Michigan would be Latino turnout. It doesn't have a large Latino population. You'll see that. You have that in Arizona. You have that in Nevada, other battleground states. But is there apathy in the black community? He needs to turn out voters there, especially in the Detroit area. It's huge. These blue-collar workers, younger workers. I've been to college campuses several times there. Right. The Israel-Hamas conflict has turned a lot of young voters away from President Biden. They also have concerns about his age. Then you have this blue-collar question right there. So all the cracks in the Biden coalition, you can find them in Michigan, all of them. So you could look at it from the half-empty perspective and say, wow, tough state. Or you can look at it from the half-full perspective, is despite all those problems, it's that close. It's that close. So, which way do you want to look at it?
That's a great. So, I guess continue along half empty, half full ish kind of thing. Whose coalition is more complicated right now? Is it a Donald Trump coalition to get him elected, or is it a Joe Biden coalition?
The Democratic coalition is more complicated because it has more pieces, right? You have the black turnout, you have the Latino turnout. You got to keep your share of the blue-collar voters. The younger voters have been key to the Democrats in the last few election cycles, and they're really mad at the president right now, especially over Israel, Hamas. Trump's biggest problems is Haley voters, people who are Republicans by DNA, who probably voted for him in 2016. A lot of them went to Biden in 2020. They don't like either one of them. And so, but Trump has singular, that's a singular problem to solve. It's a big problem. Your home state of Indiana, Nikki Haley gets, 20%, 22%, 6-7 weeks after she dropped out of the race. Yeah. That's a problem for Trump. But it's one thing, and they're DNA Republicans. Biden has a lot more complicated little pieces. It's tougher.
That's great. This is adding to the map that you're taking us through right up into Election Day. This is great to see you out there and hear from these people directly. It's good.